the common theme with all of this, it's cash based. You go into a cash based environment, little different than insurance, right? There's a clear divide in operational workflow, right? Where we're touching on the excellence, the experience. It's that same 5-star restaurant experience versus the not so 5-star restaurant, the other exact opposite. Then you have your fast food chains, and you can rate your fast food chains, fast in and out, certain expectation. In the cash based space, we have a combination of all of this, and we're looking to, in many practices, transitioning into cash based. What are some of the key points and differentiators they really need to be looking out for in this case?
Yeah, so I think that if you're going to have a cash-based model, I think where a lot of these practices and a lot of these facilities get it wrong is that they focus on pricing instead of value. Does that make
Yes,
sense?
it does.
And so your patient is going to invest on their outcomes. They're not going to invest on their procedures. So if they come in there and you find out what they want, you meet them at a point of need, and you develop that outcome, that's how you build value, right? That's how you establish that. And so I think a lot of times practices will really struggle because they focus on the pricing.
If you don't see the value in what you're offering, you're not going to be able to sell that value. The PT was charging $750 and wanted to charge less. And the response to the MD was, well, I'm not an MD, so how can I charge what you charge? And you shouldn't have an issue charging what your value is. If you undervalue what you're offering, to your point, people will think that it doesn't have that same quality. Now, you can't overcharge. I've seen the opposite end of the spectrum where people are providing a lower quality product and treatment at a much inflated price. And then that's not good either, and so it has to be high quality treatment, trained individual, producing very good outcomes or producing, good outcomes. And then you're going to have repeat patients wanting to come back, right? I mean, I can't really stress, and you brought it up, this is probably one of the more important conversations that we have and can have, with new providers or new business owners, existing providers that have been in the industry for years, moving from insurance over to cash. It's like,
Absolutely.
and you probably hear it all the time too. Now, if you run the practice and you wouldn't pay that yourself, you've got a problem. You've definitely got an
Big
issue,
time. Big time. But they were like, oh yeah, it
still,
actually makes sense. I'm like, it's true. It is.
That's
I
a
think
real thing. Yeah.
human nature, dictates that we can really be encumbered by our bias, right? So you have to be really aware of that. And you have to really be aware of that if you're implementing that system, because now what has happened is like over time, if somebody is having an insurance-based model, right, there's such a massive perpetual and consistent devaluation of the care of whatever service that they're receiving, because they're
Yeah.
being reimbursed at 10, 15, 20 cents on the dollar. And then when that patient or that client has to go to a facility that's making them pay out of pocket, there's a paradigm shift that has to occur with that patient, right? It also has to occur with the provider, right? So both people have to understand that, so that they can understand the value now of what they're truly delivering.